biggest race. Limited seating available. Watch and wager at hpibet.com. Don't miss the 91st running of the Canadian Derby, Sunday, September 27th from Century Mile in Edmonton.
The Canadian Derby is the race.
It's our biggest race. It's pinnacle of racing here in Alberta.
To this day, and it still brings
It's just getting there and hoping nothing happens on the way.
Mask with cheese, it means little bear. Driving back and forth, you know, when we raced in Calgary all the time, I read all the road signs and all that. And so I always thought, well, that'd be a good name for a horse. Bear is his groom and Bear's the horse. And Bear, he really loves this horse.
He's just got the temperament of a champion.
Red got him at the yearling sale. I wasn't there, and our friend Leanne Connectel, and she said, there's one that I really, really like.
I went and looked at him in the sale, and I liked him, but he had a bad cut on his leg.
Well, I knew the scar on his leg didn't bother him. So Red, I said, buy this colt.
So I took a shot, I bought him, it never bothered him. As soon as we started to train him, and he was perfectly willing to do everything right.
He said, this horse is a little better than average.
He's just a smooth rider. Just don't seem to get sour, just a happy horse.
He's just one of those horses. They're special horses. When Fancy As won the Derby, I think it was almost as exciting as when I gave birth to my first child. At this point in Red's career, for him to win it, I think it would just be awesome because he's 82 years old this year.
You get pumped up. Not as much as I used to. Now I just kind of take it in stride. That horse Elijah's got, he can run. I think he's for real.
Looks like Rail Hugger after the wire.
This horse, I think, is going to be a shot. Pretty hard to find a horse that will go the Derby distance, but he wants to run further.
Bareback Jack is probably a little underrated. I'm still waiting for him to, throw that big one like he did in the Birdcatcher last year.
But it'll be Bareback Jack to win it in the Birdcatcher Stakes.
I've never taken a horse over for the Canadian Derby. Never led one over.
I'm already excited. I'm already sick to my stomach. It would mean everything to me.
It's the year of the mask. Mask with cheese.
They're off, and it is on.
Biggest race. Limited seating available. Watch and wager at hpibet.com. Don't miss the 91st running of the Canadian Derby, Sunday, September 27th from Century Mile in Edmonton.
Welcome to Century Mile for your 91st Canadian Derby preview show. Race goes tomorrow night here in the Edmonton area. Looking forward to the historic 91st running, a field of 11. I'm joined up here by track announcer Shannon Sugardoyle. We've got some horses coming out on track right away here. They're just finishing up some harrowing and we'll be ready to go. But we'll be able to see some of your contenders for your 4 stakes training here. There are 4 major stakes on the card tomorrow. The pinnacle day here in Alberta Racing. Sugar, what's your thoughts coming in?
You know what? Getting up this morning, coming on over here, the weather is beautiful, a nice fresh morning to see some of these stars that will be on display racing here tomorrow evening. If we can get any kind of weather like this for tomorrow night, that's half the battle right there, Rob.
Yeah, no, and looks like the forecast should hold. We look forward to a big card, though. There's lots of horses running.
I've been eyeing up this number all week long. 118 horses for 12 races, so you're averaging 10 horses per race. My pal Curtis Stock acknowledged on his Twitter feed this week one of the greatest cards for a Derby in years here in Alberta, and I have to agree. I'm going back to my Northlands days between 2010, 2013 for my Derbies. And you know what? We've had some nice races, but these races tomorrow evening, so deep. Again, averaging 10 horses per race on a 12-dash card, just insane.
I think the other thing of note tomorrow, there's only one real heavy favorite, and that is Infinite Patience in the Oaks, invading from Woodbine for Barb Heads. We won't see her this morning. We hope to see her tomorrow. But she's going to be the only real big favorite tomorrow. Everybody else, there should be wagering opportunities throughout the card. As we'll talk about, the pick 4, as always, a crazy wager here, $25,000 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Pick 5 starts the race before in the Distaff. So lots to look forward to.
I think I see 3 pick 4s tomorrow night.
There's 3 pick 4s tomorrow. There's rolling super high 5s later on in the card.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be a gambling night. It's Sunday night. What else are you going to be doing?
I mean, and we're going with those non-jackpot high 5s now, so to catch a carryover in any one of those high 5s, and you'll see those pools explode. So I've mentioned it a few times this past week. All kinds of great wagering opportunities. There were some nice ones last night. Even just some nice pay. There was some faves winning last night, but the prices on them, like that second last race, the 2-year-old that went out for Carson Fry. I mean, that 9-5 on him. He should have been 3-5, I thought. And you nailed it with bang on when you mentioned he got away to a slow get. I had to go back and catch the replay, and you were spot on. And what's he do last night? He goes out and tears the bridles off him on top all the way.
Yeah, no, he looked great winning the Canadian Juvenile last night. Bang on starts at Craig Smith Exactor with shots through the heart, running second. And then the filly, She Likes to Party. How good was she in the Freedom of the City?
Oh, wasn't she a princess?
Oh yeah. She just crushed.
Yeah,
so.
she was awesome. I was sitting on a call for her. A buddy of mine back in the day had a little filly he liked. He said she's like a princess in a brand new dress, so I had to pull that one out of the vault last night.
Looks like we're going to be joined by our first horse on track, and it's for your leading trainer here. This is a Canadian Derby contender. This is Bareback Jack walking up here right now. Goes to the River's Edge team. Will be ridden tomorrow by Rigo Sarmiento. This is a horse that was second in the Beaufort. He's been beaten by a number of rivals recently. He's going to look to turn the tables, but certainly a nice-looking Alberta bred by Backen.
Right on. Trainer Tim Rycroft, he says he's still waiting on a Bareback Jack to show his best, saying he's underrated coming in. Bareback Jack, more than capable if he can bring his A game, and you know what? The pace might come back to him.
And then the other horse walking on the racetrack right now, that looks like a bar none trainee. That'll be Port Protection. The classy old mare, Kwame Joseph, will be in the saddle this morning. And she gets a new rider tomorrow as well. Obviously, we wish Shannon Beauregard the best in her recovery.
Oh, for sure, for sure. She's been tuning in. I think she's been playing, too. That's what I'm hearing anyway.
But Mauricio Malvez will ride her tomorrow in the Northlands Distaff. And is she ever a mare to come with a big rally at a price?
All righty. So we're looking at Port Protection. She's out there, and she'll be in race number 8 tomorrow evening, as mentioned, that Distaff. Port Protection from this season. She's been showing well, second best in her last 2, so maybe sitting on a win, but you're going to get some big value at 20-1. The Bug Rider, Mauricio Malvez, will be on board for Bar None and Ron Greaves.
Yeah, this mare always fires big. Like, she was a length away from winning the Founders last year in Calgary I think she was 45-1 that day. If the pace melts down, if they back up, she will be flying late. She tried the boys last time and just got nipped by Chaska. I thought that was a pretty good effort. This is a very nice mare for the Barnum team.
Right. The mile seems to suit her well. From 7 tries, she's got to win, and she's a runner-up finisher there 4 times. So the 1 mile distance, it's what she wants, and that's what she's going to get tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, certainly a big-time contender there with Port Protection.
At 20-1 in the morning line. Who's that morning line, man?
Well, that was me making the morning line, but what do? There's 6 of these things that could be legitimate choices.
Right.
And there's 2 incredibly tough mares in here in Raider and Sunburst.
Yeah,
so.
I have to be honest. I made my selections already, and I did not include her in the top 4. But you know what? There is a high 5 in there. She'll get the 5th spot on my high 5 ticket.
Now we see going down the backside jog, and that'll be Sangria. Goes for the Barb Heads team. A 3-year-old filly for the Oaks, owned by Russell and Lois Bennett. Comes off some races at Hastings Park. It's race number 6 in your program there, Sugar.
Right on.
And she's drawn to the outside. We'll see what happens with her stablemate. She was 3rd, this filly, though, in the Supernatural, 4th in the Hong Kong Jockey Club. But it is worth noting, she's 1 for 1 here in Alberta, winner of the Freedom of the City Stakes last year at Century Downs. And quite impressively, in that matter, she holds a win also over Pearl of Knowledge.
Right on. And you know what? Her last victory came at Century Downs, October 26th of 19, as you mentioned, reuniting here with Rico Walcott. And we all know Rico gets his choice on many here. And you know what? For him to side with Sangria, trainer Barbara Heads, you gotta use this one tomorrow evening. I've got her pegged for 2nd. I'm going with my old address on Ottawa Street in Prince Edward Island on 164, top 3 in that race. She is the 6th horse, Sangria. Rico Walcott's choice in there.
Just comfortably jogging down the backside right now. Well, Walcott's named on both of them right now. And
okay.
He's going to have his choice between Infinite Patience and Sangria if they both go.
Okay, I gotcha.
We'll see what Mr. Fowlis decides in the morning. And
that's one thing I got to pay attention to with these thoroughbred stakes races. When the harness program comes out, what's listed in the program is what you're going to get. I'm looking at a program here, and I'm seeing Rico on 2 horses in this stakes race. So, yeah, it's kind of neat how it comes right down to the wire, how they get to choose late on their horses.
But don't worry, it'll be up by scratch time tomorrow.
Okay, good to know.
So, here's Bareback Jack now we're seeing for the Rycroft barn, getting ready for the Derby. We talked about him a minute ago. He ran a good race in the Beaufort, though. He was in front at the head of the lane. He couldn't hold off Masquechas, but I thought it was a very good effort and a horse that seems to be getting better than he was back in Winnipeg earlier this year.
Yeah, great video there we put up this week, the horses, and Tim Rycroft is in there, and he's saying maybe this horse can find a bird catcher effort. Took the bird catcher here at Century Mile last season, and again, they're waiting on a big one. It could be tomorrow night. That'd be the biggest one ever for this crew with Bareback Jack. The Canadian Derby, as many in that video have said, it's the pinnacle for horse racing in Alberta, if not Western Canada. Bareback Jack, definitely worth a look for tomorrow evening. Leading trainer Tim Rycroft, River's Edge Racing Stables. They've always had a player for the Derby, it seems, each and every year.
Yeah, no, this is a horse that I think's getting better, so I think he's kind of intriguing, especially at the right price if he gets the right setup. He's going to be close, and I don't know how much pace there really is. Other than Real Grace, nobody's going to go crazy fast, really.
I think that's what trainer Red Smith said. There's not a whole lot of speed in there. I mean, might get left alone in there. I see Tim down there on the fence right now. He's checking out the video, and I'm looking at the video of Bareback Jack, and doesn't he look comfortable out there on a Saturday morning in Alberta?
Yeah. So we'll get another look here at the filly Sangria. She's turned around and is galloping now. Obviously, there's our outrider Kevin. We love him, but we're looking for the stakes filly here.
Sangria.
Wouldn't you like to have a Sangria right about now?
Oh, Oh.
Or is it too early for
No, never too early for a sangria. Or is that something like an orange juice with wine or
wine
champagne?
and fruit juice
yeah,
and some fruit in it. Yeah,
yeah. I could go for. I've already had my coffee, so what's next, right?
Exactly. Like it's the logical next step.
Yeah.
But does she ever look like $1 million down here galloping?
Oh wow, isn't she something?
Certainly a nice looking filly here.
Put together nicely.
Yeah. And she, by Sun Gold, a BC bred, making her appearance out here. We'd love to see him in the Barbhead stables. Actually, going to be out here for the remainder of the meet here.
She wants distance, right?
Yeah.
AP Indy in the line.
Yeah.
She wants to go long. Oh boy, I'm hearing deuces are wild.
Yeah, we got some speed coming out here.
He's a track record holder here, I believe.
Going 5.5 furlongs. First time out of his life up here after running at Gulfstream as a 3-year-old.
Wow.
Took the year off, came back as a 4-year-old. He's in the Century Mile here. He's out there galloping with the pony, or jogging the wrong way at least. And this is a horse that's been awesome this year at Century Mile.
Oh, he put up crazy fractions last time out, and he was still fighting to the finish. He wasn't done.
No.
Beaten favorite there last time out. His first loss suffered in his latest there in the Arctic Lar. As mentioned, though, was not done, and he won't be done in that 9th race tomorrow evening. The Century Mile handicap stays at 1 mile, and you know what? They got home there 137 flat. That's a quick mile here at Century Mile. I like him tomorrow evening. I had to put him on top. Ray Williams riding for trainer Jerry Robertson. Main contender there might be the 4, a Whiskey Bound, who was actually the one that got up and beat him late there last time out.
Yeah, no, Deuces Are Wild ran a great race last time. It was his first defeat here, actually, but it was a gutsy one in that.
Oh, yeah, he was not done. He was still fighting.
The interesting thing, though, is with this race, we talked about the Derby, not a lot of speed. But this race has tons of it. Intent to Strike's going to go. Sharp Dress Bow's races are close. Even horses like Storm Chaser's got to go. From the outside, I can't imagine a situation where he doesn't. So it's quite interesting. This is kind of a big-time scenario here. So we'll see what happens. But
I'm not sure. Storm Chaser's got the speed, but I'm not sure he's got the distance in him.
Oh, okay.
Storm Chaser, nice horse for speed, and has been game in recent starts. But he's going to stretch it out there tomorrow evening. First time here at Century Mile this season that he'll be tested at a mile.
We got a little surprise visitor.
I guess this is a surprise.
Yeah, we weren't actually planning on seeing him this morning, but this is Mask Wachis, your second choice in the morning line in your Derby. I guess your local favorite. Winner of the Beaufort, winner of the Western Canada, winner of the City of Leduc last year for Red Smith. Ray Williams going to take over the riding duties for the first time.
Oh, there's a great story behind it. I mean, the year of the mask, right?
Yeah.
My pal, Dennis Sexton, his nickname Bear, a caretaker, longtime caretaker for years here in Alberta. And what he said on the video released this week, a guy that's been involved this long in the game as a caretaker, and he has never led one over for the Canadian Derby. The hair stood up on my arms, and I may have shed a tear when I heard that for Bear. And you know what? Mask Wachis, meaning is the little bear. So there's a look at Mask Wachis, and as you mentioned, what a surprise. We didn't think we were going to see him this morning.
Yeah, no, and he looks well advanced coming into training here. The big thing, I think, with a lot of these horses is how are they going to handle 10 furlongs?
Well, you know what? This horse won, might not have been his first win this season, but I think it was his second. I had a veteran horseman come over to me, and he said, you know what? This horse may not get beat in the Canadian Derby if he stays out of trouble. He's so long. He reaches well. All he's got to do is keep him out of trouble. And that's what he did his last start here. He rebounded for a win. I think they made some changes. Maybe it was Lasix and blinkers added there last time out. But Mask Wachis, I think you got to call him the hometown favorite.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, he's for sure the local favorite here. He ran on by Bareback Jack last time, and he didn't have the easiest of trips.
Right.
So he went 3 wide both turns, and they didn't go all that fast in front of him. And we'll see what he does tomorrow. Obviously, new partner with Ray Williams.
Right.
But
That was the only surprise for me with this horse. Masquachis, Rico's been on him all year, and then to see Rico go with Synergy. But you know what, Synergy off the last trip in BC, I mean, I can see why.
Yeah.
You know, you want your best shot. Synergy appears to be one of the better shots in the Derby as the morning line favorite. But you know what, the hopes of many here in Alberta, Masquachis, the year of the mask, and again for my pal, the caretaker Dennis Sexton, I'm really looking forward to seeing him lead one over for the Canadian Derby.
I think we got another Derby horse here on the screen. I believe this is Big Al's Vision for the Carson Fry barn. A bit of a long shot, but he's came with a good run last time against the older horses, and another one with this bit of a sentimental story named after his father. Carson owns this horse himself. This has been kind of his own kid. He won it first asking last year and has been kind of on the fringes against the best types all year. Maybe looking for lightning in a bottle tomorrow.
You know what, folks that like to chase after long shots, this is your long shot play tomorrow. I believe it's the longest shot on the morning line. But Big Al's Vision, you know what, they don't sign the check over prior to the race. You've got to race the race, and you can't win it if you're not in it. And that's what we'll say about Big Al's Vision for Carson Fry. Carson's had a great meet here this summer at Century Mile. Always in the hunt with his horses.
Yeah, and there's one thing about this horse. The distance will not bother him. He will keep going. You could go around twice, and this horse will keep running.
Look at him. Hey, yeah.
So okay. He's that's Carson aboard himself there. And this horse, by Court Vision out of a grindstone mare, he will be running at the end. It's just how many horses he does end up going by.
Looking very relaxed with Carson on board, and he's got him looking great.
Yeah,
this is sort of like a coming out party for Carson Fry, possibly with the Big Al's Vision.
On the television monitors now, this is Blues Roar, joined by the pony here. Also for the Rycroft barn, owned by the Shot in the Dark Racing Corporation. This has always been a high-strung filly as she breaks off away from Faye and the pony there. And this is a mare that just seems to be getting better. She won her last in a pretty good effort.
She surprised me last time.
Oh, she ran a great race, and she put it to Special Brandy.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I kept waiting on Special Brandy. She just couldn't make it up against this filly.
No, and I think that a mile's... I think it works for her. She's going to be part of the speed. She ran the best mile in the 16th I saw anybody run last year in Calgary when she was second. She hooked under par. She put under par away, who's an absolute BC speedball, and she kept running and just got run down by Smart Fix, who was a monster last year.
Well, that's what you like to see. You like to see fight, and when it comes out of a filly and now a 5-year-old mare by the Bluegrass Cat. She ran a distance one. She's been second best there, as mentioned. Blues Roar, very sharp coming in. I've never seen her better than she was last time this season.
Yeah, no, she's certainly coming in off a winning effort.
The confidence is there. She's got that heart-building win, as my friend Crystal Larroger used to say.
Yeah, 10-1 on the morning line, but I think she's a contender in here. She'd obviously have to run the race of her life to beat the big two mares, but there's nothing that's like she couldn't be doing any better.
I think if she can find a spot up close, she'll follow all day long.
Yeah, no, she will. And there's some speed in here. There is more speed signed on in this race than some of the more recent ones. Cypress Point from the inside, Hidden Grace.
Could we be seeing track records? I've highlighted all my track records in the program, thinking we're going to see more than a few track records. That's just me, though, right? I get excited about stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a possibility. 136 flat by Intent to Strike is going to be tough, I think.
Right.
Because he just rolled on the front end that day.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Every quarter was quicker than the first one. And
yeah, he was just gonzo. But I mean, our track crew, they've got this track looking fantastic. This morning is very kind to the horses.
So, take another look at Big Al coming through the stretch again. Certainly looking the picture of health here as he gallops down the long Century Mile stretch.
Do you think he brushes him a bit here? I think Masquachis, they might have brushed him a little bit for about a 16th there when he went by last time. Huh?
Yeah,
Carson, though, he's looking pretty comfortable here. Again, I believe this is a big deal for Carson being out here this morning. You know, we've got some folks on the fence watching some of these here Derby contenders, and he is a contender. Like I said, you can't win it if you're not in it, and there he is, Big Al's Vision. He'll be getting a call at some point tomorrow night, I'm sure.
Take one more look here at Masquachis as he heads off the racetrack. Going to be your local favorite, obviously. A big threat here. Ray Williams aboard this morning for the Red Smith team and the Barkers. So, obviously, a big local contender and a horse that's been in absolutely great form this year.
You know, Red on the video saying, you know, it's tough to get pumped up now in later years. You know, he is 82. He's been to the Derby before and stuff, but he likes this colt. Right from the get-go, he's liked this colt. Not a whole lot of money invested in this fella either, Masquachis. And Leanne Connectel played a part in Red getting this fella at the sale there 2 years ago. And, Masquachis, I've been a fan ever since the start, and you know what? Just the year of the mask. Oh, boy.
There's your storyline.
Yeah,
Sugar.
pretty much, right? Well, if he gets there,
Yeah. From the sounds of it, it sounds like we're going to have another big Derby contender up next here.
The Contender.
Yeah, it could be considered the contender
The
here.
BC Invader.
One of many for Barbara Heads. I believe we have Synergy just about to come on the racetrack.
Barbara,
here.
she showed up with some nice horses.
Oh, there's some runners down there right now.
Oh, my.
Well, even Fly Away last night.
Right.
Probably should have won.
Right.
Went a little quick, but that barn is going to be very live here the last 6 weeks of the meet. And we'll see actually a number of Hastings Invaders here for things like the sale stake in a few weeks, and because their meet's going to end here, and we're going to have lots of activity from the other provinces here.
You know what? I'll be able to watch it, but I won't be able to call it right. I think my pal Murray Slough's coming in, and I believe Dan Jukic is going to be around as well.
Yeah, it sounds like there'll be a couple of different voices you'll hear, but Murray for sure.
Right on.
But it's been fun having you. And you're looking forward to getting back home.
I've had a great time here. I mean, and this Derby night is going to cap it all off. Who are we seeing here, Rob?
This is Synergy with the big white face here.
I love it.
Yeah, he's very flashy.
I love it already. I've never seen him before.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen him too.
Holy.
But coming in with 3 wins in a row, he's been everything you could ask for this year. Over at Hastings, he won the Winston Churchill. He won the Sprint Stake. And this is a horse that he can sit close, he can sit off it.
Holy. Look at it. He's just so handsome.
Yeah, he's bouncing here.
One thing I used to see a lot in harness was the chestnuts. You don't see the chestnuts in harness anymore, but this is one handsome chestnut. There's still lots of chestnuts involved in thoroughbred racing, and I love it.
Yeah. He looks like he's bouncing away there. He obviously handled the ship well. He just would have got here on Thursday. So
regal looking. I mean, he knows he's a champ.
And this is a homebred for the Bennetts, so obviously something special there as well.
3 for 3 in 2020, and you know what? $135,000 earned lifetime, and he could add a big chunk onto that with a victory in the $100,000 Canadian Derby tomorrow evening. Wow, Synergy with the purple saddle cloth number 10.
Yeah, no, that's one striking animal down there.
Rico Walcott.
Yeah, that's the choice. He would have had multiple options, and that's where he ends up.
Him and his agent Bob Fallis got together. They watched the replay from him last time out. I guess he was wide throughout and still pulled away from them in the stretch. So that was at a distance of 1 1/16. He's going to stretch it out to 1 1/4. But the guys, Bob and Rico, they figured this horse can get it.
Yeah, no, this horse. And obviously the morning line favorite here at 3-1.
Had to make him the favorite.
Yeah,
right?
I toyed around, or we all toyed around kind of all week between 5-2 and 3-1 and what he would be. So
I think you nailed it. You know, it's an 11-horse field, right? I mean, if it's a shortened up field of 8 or so, then you might want to go lower. But with 11 horses, it's tough to go lower than 3-1 on them.
He's picking up a little speed as he comes into the backside.
Oh, he's so good looking.
Seems to be handling everything with ease. I think the other horse that just galloped past us here was Penny a Point. She's just going around the clubhouse turn here. She's in the Northlands Distaff. She's going to be a long shot, but she's had a good year for the Cone Barn. Interesting to note about this filly, only has one eye.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Penny a point. Another chestnut mare. Penny a point. Jose Rocha will be on board for trainer Rod Code. Does have a victory at the distance. And does have a pair of wins, but will be facing tougher.
Yeah, this is certainly tougher, but she's done everything right this year. 2 wins, a second, a third.
The confidence is there.
Yeah. She was 3 lengths behind Blues Roar last time. She kind of had a wide trip. The extra furlong will help her, but she's obviously 40-1 for a reason, but this is at least she's in the right form.
I'm looking at the Distaff. It's a high 5, so you got to use her on the end of your high 5, I figure, right?
Yeah, she's got to be a horse that's going to she'll run on down the lane for sure.
Right. Pick up the pieces on some that just can't keep it up or can't make that distance.
She's pulling on Paige a little bit here, and the other thing to say about her is her trainer Rod Cohn is as good as anybody at getting them to go a route.
Oh, a solid veteran trainer, so cagey, you know. He's raced some horses here. I know a few weeks ago he started a pair of horses in a race. One was bet down as a heavy favorite. The other was one of the longer shots on the board. Well, one of the longer shots on the board was the one that he sent out, and they couldn't get close to him. So for that, Rod Cohn, what a cagey trainer, you know. You can't count him out of any race here in Alberta, and don't count him out with Penny a point.
No, I'm with you on that there, Sugar. And the other wager we could have is what color his hat will be tomorrow. So here comes Synergy again through the stretch, and you can't miss that white face. And you'll be able to find him tomorrow. So
if he's not wearing blinkers, right? I always say, you know, look, he's kicking it in just a little bit more there, and you know, oh boy, I can't wait to see him run tomorrow night. Yeah, as mentioned, those big white blazes on the face, I love them when they're turning for home, especially if they're not wearing blinkers. They're so easy to pick up. I look for the blazes, any little thing to tell them apart, right?
Yeah, no, and it's a quarter mile from here to the head of the lane for you to call from.
And that's where they're going to start from tomorrow night, right?
Yes, as well.
It's a full quarter mile here in front of us, and then reaching the finish line for the first time, they will do one full circuit for another mile there. So 1.25 mile distance for the Canadian Derby. It's a nice line. Sight lines are great. Could be the first time ever the Canadian Derby run under the lights.
I believe so.
Synergy. There he was pulling up, and he knows he's good. Yeah, that's really the thing about the thoroughbreds that I do. I was down at Century Downs a couple of years ago for the Harvest Plate, and just the look of some of these horses standing up in the paddock, they know they're good.
So Penny a point, pulling through the lane still. She looks like she's ready to roll.
Ready to roll and having fun, and you know what, kicking it in there pretty good. Yeah, she'll be one to be looking for in that high 5 race tomorrow night. The Distaff goes in race number 8.
So here we got another mare coming on the racetrack. This is the Alberta bred, save it for a rainy day, for the Tom Rycroft barn. We've talked about Tim, but can't let Dad go.
My friend Tom.
Everybody's friend Tom.
There used to be a horse here in Alberta named My Friend Tom. So ever since I've been calling, you know, he is a good pal of mine. He won a race there last night, and I had to go over and, you know, I seen him downstairs in the bar, and I always go over and tap him on the shoulder. You know, nice win, pal. And Tom's a great guy.
He's the happiest cat when he's winning, and Save It for a Rainy Day has done lots of that in her time. Yeah. They claimed her back last year. And she's been good. She's been really good this year. She beat the good sprint mares early in the year. She was second in the Fall Classic Distaff, third in the Shirley Vargo. She's been right there against these mares. And another one, if the pace gets fast, she'll be rolling. And she's teamed up with her regular rider, Wilmer Galvez.
Yeah, I mean, 5 starts, 2020. She's first, she's second, she's third twice. And, you know, 25-1 on the morning line. Another one to include in that high 5 play tomorrow night, a field of 11. Save it for a rainy day. Tom Rycroft does a great job conditioning his horses, and as mentioned, Galvez stays on to ride right there with Piper Rose in the Fall Classic Distaff, and you know what? She'll be worth a look in there tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, she is a little trip dependent at times, but if she gets the right one, she's as tough as anybody.
Sure.
So here's another horse that is maybe the opposite, who hasn't quite had the campaign we've maybe expected or seen in the past. Going down the backside, I believe this is Rick Bunny aboard Trooper John also for the River's Edge team, Tim Rycroft. He's in the Century Mile. This was your king of Alberta older horses the last couple of years. He was a Canadian Derby horse himself a few years back. He was second in a dead heat. Enrique Gonzalez is going to ride for the first time tomorrow, looking to get back into his good form, but you couldn't ask for more from this horse over the years.
Well, I've been in Ontario calling races there since 2013, but if there's a name in Alberta thoroughbred racing that sticks with me, I've heard lots about Trooper John over the last 3-4 years, and you know what? A fringe player this season, yet to win, but I guess his most disappointing start would be his latest, but before that, he was coming on late against the likes of Deuces or Wild, been facing Sharp Dress Beau there as well. So Trooper John, leading trainer Tim Rycroft, if he can find any kind of his old A game, he'll be a player in the Century Mile handicap. And you know what? Trooper John, like I said, if there's a horse that's Alberta thoroughbred racing for me over the last 3 or 4 years, this is the name that sticks out for me.
Yeah, no, he's been an absolute dynamo to be around. Journal winner last year. He won the prep for the Harvest Plate last year. He was right there in the Harvest. In what was the Harvest was probably the race of the year last year in Alberta. And then he comes back this year, and he was good in a number of starts, and he worked really good in the morning the other day. He worked in 46-4.
That's great to hear, and especially after that last start, right?
Yeah.
So.
And then, but we do have another Canadian Derby contender here. Here's Real Grace galloping down the backside. Goes for the Shelley Brown team. Obviously, thoughts kind of there with that one.
You're calling this horse or speed horse maybe tomorrow
This
night?
has to be the speed. He's going to be the one that ends up in front, I would think.
Okay.
Mauricio Malvez put him on the front last time against Deuces or Wild. So,
one thing, Mauricio has been riding with the bug weight. They're all going to carry 126 in here, though. That's the one thing about the Derby, right? They're all going to carry 126.
Yeah, so he doesn't get the apprentice advantage, but he's ridden this horse already once.
He knows him.
He was only beat 2 lengths by good older horses. So that was a good effort. He's won a stake already in Winnipeg. He got hooked up pretty toughly in the Manitoba Derby. So we'll see if he gets a breather. This horse is going to be tough. Shelley
may have some theft on the brain.
That could be the idea here.
Who's going to go out with him, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the big conversation. He certainly looks the picture of it galloping down here. He's been under the care the last couple of weeks of veteran trainer Rod Cohn. Certainly a barn that knows how to win a Derby or two. And he looks good down here.
He does too.
This was a purchase back in the spring at the OBS sale back before they even had seen him run, and he has turned into a really nice horse for them. A couple of seconds and then crushed in the Derby trial. And
just a one-time winner, but he's going to get a call tomorrow night, and it will likely be very early. He'll be out there early, on or near the lead, and trying to be sticking around late, I'm sure.
Yeah, that'll be the big plan. And he another one that fought on last time.
Right.
Like Deuces Are Wild, and then we're rolling after it. And Whiskey Bound was flying on the outside, and he was still plugging away.
Every start through the program, he's on or near the lead, and there's no giving up. Through his program lines, the farthest he's been off them is finishing 5th at 4 lengths back against the likes of Mongolian Wind in the Manitoba Derby. So this horse, you know what? 15-1 in the morning line. I think you might have nailed that right on. I think that's what folks are going to get on the Real Grace tomorrow evening. You want a horse that's going to be in play. This is your horse. He will be on or near the lead, we figure, tomorrow evening. Real Grace will be facing a bit tougher company, but as you mentioned, faced the older horses last time out, and a great account of himself, finishing 4th against the likes of Deuces Are Wild and Whiskey Bound.
Yeah, no. So another big player in the race here.
He will be. I mean, we're going to be calling his name right off the bat, I'm sure. It'll be like they're off and it is on, and it could be Real Grace getting the first call. He wanted the first call. He's got it. Maybe that's how it's all going to start tomorrow evening. What time tomorrow evening we're looking at a Derby start? About 10 o'clock?
9:55.
Okay,
Mountain
so
time.
all right, so about 5 to 10 here, our time, and if you're tuned in other parts, well, that's around midnight Eastern. It's got some late night horse racing action. Our signature card of the season here at Century Mile.
Take another look here at Trooper John, as he finishes up his business in the morning. Certainly a horse that trains like an absolute star, and he knows he is, and he has been for a long time.
Well, he's been there, right?
Well,
he's been to all the dances, you know. He's been there and done that. A 10-time winner, almost $350,000 earned a lifetime there. Tim Rycroft, a fabulous job with this horse.
Yeah, no, this horse has taken them everywhere. He went to the BC Derby. He's really done everything you could ask for out in Western Canada.
If that's him, I mean, look at him. You know, he knows he's a champ. He knows he's been there.
I remember this horse when he came over for the Futurity in Winnipeg, and he was the highly touted horse, and Chris Husbands rode him for Tim. And Tim came over and said, I kind of like this horse. He's getting better. He was lightly raced at the time. And he ended up battling back and winning right at the last second by the slimmest of margins. And it was a lightly raced horse he beat, and that was Escape Clause.
So, oh, wow.
And the two of them were...
That's a big name.
Yeah, were nose and nose right down to the wire, and they both turned into fabulous, fabulous Western Canadian superstars.
Right.
But that was the race of the year that year for 2-year-olds. But this horse has been a star ever since.
So he's a 6-year-old now, and... you know, he's out there. He's on the trot there right now, looking very proud of his accomplishments over the years. Wouldn't it be nice to see him step up in that Century Mile handicap tomorrow evening? Carded as race number 9, opening leg of the $25,000 guaranteed pool pick 4. Those go-to wagers have been awesome all meet.
Yeah, and if Trooper John wins, that payout's going to be
it inflates.
Yeah,
big time, right off the bat. If you can get a long shot on that opening leg of any pick 4 at any track, you know you're going to get paid.
Yeah, there's only 45 horses in the sequence. We can get that figured out, right? Can't we, Sugar?
It's tough. It's tough, folks. But you know what? You don't get a card like this often. A Canadian Derby card like this we haven't seen in years.
So another one coming on the racetrack is another from the Barb-Heads team, and that's going to be Sunburst. This is an older mare, and she's the second choice in the Distaff.
That'd be
draws post 11.
Race 8 on our card is the Distaff.
Antonio Whitehall is going to ride her. He had a good day yesterday with a couple of stakes wins.
Grand Slam, and I was hoping he'd get there for 5. You know what? I lost count after his 3rd or 4th victory, so I didn't have the old Grand Slam call in my back pocket for him. But you know what? Leading jockey in all of Canada for wins 2020. He's on cloud 9 right now, and I love it when he goes into the winner's circle, right? Because he's giving props to the man upstairs, and he's usually holding up the number of wins in his hands, right?
Yeah, no, he's a ball of energy to be around, and this filly, another homebred for the Bennetts, another one that's done everything they've asked of her. How awesome was she when she won the Red Tail this earlier this summer? When she came over here first off the bench and just blitzed Broadway Bonnie in them.
Right, so easy. I mean, it was mild urging at best by Walcott. Sunburst. This is a really nice filly. Another chestnut daughter of Sun Gold here, and you know what? The record speaks for itself. 10 starts, 4 wins, 5 seconds, and a 3rd. Always in the hunt. Will be in the hunt tomorrow evening here from an outside post at 7-2. You gotta love Sunburst, race 8, the Distaff, and that starts up our pick 5 play.
Yeah, and then this filly went back to BC, and she chased under par around in Here's Hannah, and then she was second last time to Here's Hannah, who's been an absolute, she's done everything they could ask for her in BC. There's no Here's Hannah in this. As good as Raider is on a fast track, I think this is the horse to beat. So even though she is the second choice, I think Raider's going to be the one that has to put it to her. And from the outside post, she should be able to get a great stalking spot. I know there's not a ton of run into the first turn, but if she can get over a little bit and save some ground, I think she's a huge, huge contender. And I think my top selection, as long as it doesn't rain.
You know what? I'm looking at her. I'm looking at the inside 3 as well, and they all appear to be the speed. I think you're going to see them sit top 4 really throughout. 1, 2, 3, and 11. It might be a decent superfecta box idea.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. This is another race that you've got the 3 provinces coming together. You've got Raider, the local contender, the local favorite. You've got Sunburst coming from the coast. And then you've got the Manitoba fillies. You've got Cypress Point, Hidden Grace, and Mormeau for me. We didn't get to see any of them this morning, but they've been taking turns beaten each other. Hidden Grace was undefeated up until July of this year. So this is another race that's kind of an interesting mix of the three provinces.
You mentioned this is what we're going to be seeing going forward. The rest of this meet is horses coming from BC, coming from Assiniboia. How do you distinguish the difference between tracks? You know, I go by times because I'm a harness guy.
Time doesn't work.
Right, time means nothing unless you're in jail. I've heard that before. But you know, for me, handicapping, I use it a bit. Sometimes, you know, you just go with what you've learned over the years. But how do you base which horse is better when they're coming in from different tracks and haven't faced each other? You know, how do you decipher that?
It takes a lot of guesswork, and at times sometimes it's about who they ran against and knowing the horses. And
you know what I like to see? I like seeing a horse come in and then showing a work here.
Yeah,
at Century
I agree
Mile.
with that too.
Yeah.
As we see, Sunburst has just broken off, and she's taking a stiff gallop down the backside.
Ooh, that's her, hey?
Yeah, she's got her neck bowed.
Beautiful chestnut.
Certainly looking the part.
She just floats along.
Yeah, no, she's a wonderful mover. This Barb Heads trio has just impressed the socks off me this morning. So
you know, when they're out there and they're running with a low head like that, you know the horse is enjoying their work.
Yeah, no, she's
that's what I'm
putting
seeing.
effort into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. This horse is enjoying what she's doing out there this morning. Just, you know, a little bit playful too, and you know, it's not a slow gallop at all. But she's doing it so easy. Oh yeah, Sunburst. I'll look forward to seeing her again tomorrow night. As you mentioned, back mid-July here, Century Mile, on top all the way, and under very mild urging, if any at all, and just did it so easy.
Yeah, no, that was one of the more impressive wins of the entire meet, and it was her first off the layoff.
Yeah,
like first start of the year, and
incredible. Well, that speaks a lot of conditioner Barbara Heads, right?
Yeah,
you know, she got not only has she got some great horses, but when they show up at first asking, they're ready to go. Yeah, this filly looks great. Look at that, hey? Just having fun, doing a little bit of work this morning, and she appears to be primed and ready to go for tomorrow night.
There's pony person Robin Cook waiting to pick up the Barb Heads trainee, and we're going to take a look at the head of the lane here, and I believe this is another filly for the Oaks, and that's Flat as a Pancake for the Rycroft barn.
How do you come up with a racehorse and use the word flat in any part of its name? You don't.
I don't know. I was more concerned about the pancake part of this because I'm getting hungry here, Sugar. But
oh, pancakes. You know what? My mom made the greatest homemade pancakes.
And we'll see Enrique.
Now you're getting me going.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take much to get us talking about food, does it here, buddy?
No. We wear it well.
Yeah. So. And then
that is a pancake, eh? Another
third in the
Tim
Sonoma.
Rycroft trainee, yeah.
She was really good last time in a 3-year-old filly conditional allowance race. What actually ended up kind of as a prep for a couple of these, Little Flatter and her. This filly's got some rateability, which I think is going to be important here. Yeah, and I think the distance shouldn't hurt her.
Right, another one going out there with a very low head. I love to see it because, like I said, to be that horse is enjoying their time out there on track. Flat as a pancake, looking great. Coming in off the win. And what a record this season from 5 lifetime starts. A pair of wins, a second and 2/3. 10-1 morning line. Possibly facing a tougher group there from an outside post, but you do not want to leave this one off of any ticket, even in the exactor play. Worth a look for sure. Number 7, Flat as a Pancake. Flat as a Pancake. Again, when they're 5 for 5, top 3, the confidence is there. Showing some heart to race on. Well, on or near the lead. The first victory back at Assiniboia Downs in May was on top all the way, and then other starts she's been riding up close and always right there with them. So again, not one to be leaving off of any exotic plays tomorrow night. Number 7, Flat as a Pancake for race number 6, the Century Casino Oaks at 1 1/8 miles.
Yeah, that really should be a dandy of a race.
I'm loving it.
Even even Pearl of Knowledge, we didn't see this morning, looked good in the Alberta Oaks. She better than she had the start before. Whitehall on for the Kingston Barn, who's having a good meet.
Holy.
Picking up for...
right from the start, Kingston Barn is
picking
hot.
Picking up from the Tracy operation. And
Right. How about Don Daynard, the owner?
He had a good night.
Oh, would that be like a career night for Don? If
it's
not,
gotta be close to it.
Close. Yeah, for sure.
So
and made it to every winter, sir. I see him. Big smile.
Oh yeah, couldn't be happier. That's what they're in the game for, and it's
yeah.
those kind of nights, and that's what we're looking forward to tomorrow because somebody's going to have a very good night.
One thing I do like, times are different. The winter circles are different, but most people make an effort to get down there and get into the background for the winter circle photo. And if I see the connections there, they're getting shout outs. And you know what? They got a great thing for the caretakers tomorrow evening. HBPA and Horse Racing Alberta, they're combining there to offer up some prizes for the caretakers. And you know what? If you're a caretaker, I know I want to hear from you. If you're racing horses tomorrow evening and you happen to make it to the winter circle, I'd love to be able to give you a shout out and provide the name for the folks watching tomorrow evening. Flat as a pancake, eh? You hungry yet?
I'm trying not to think about it here, Sugar.
I'm still on my mom's homemade pancake recipe. Oh, boy.
This flat out filly certainly seems to be getting better, and I think that is the important thing. And
lightly raced.
Yeah.
Lightly raced, she's come into her own. There's only one other horse in there, being Kentucky Roll, with 5 starts in her career, but a maiden coming in for trainer Rick Hedge. Flat as a pancake. Enrique Gonzalez. Yeah, trainer Tim. Was this the Gonzalez that was injured early in the meet?
No. That would be Adrian Gonzalez.
Right, okay.
Enrique Gonzalez moved his tack over from Hastings
about
halfway through the year.
Okay, I got you then.
So
yeah, because when I came in, I believe the other Gonzalez, he was injured.
He was injured,
yeah. Okay.
Wish him the best with a leg injury. And
well, I spoke with Rafa Zatino Jr. there yesterday. He's handling it well. I believe it was the fractured collarbone. And again, Shannon Beauregard, she could be tuned in here now.
Yeah.
And Rafa could be tuned in as well. And we're going to wish them all the best on getting back and up and around very soon.
As we get one last look at Sunburst today, as she takes her jog off, who really stood out for you? Who was the pick of the morning, Sugar? Who'd we fall in love with?
Sunburst, she looked great, but I got to go with Synergy.
Her stablemate.
Synergy. He won the preview for me. And he just looks so good. Yeah, just like he owns the... Like, he's from BC, but he's out there this morning like he owns the place.
Just checks another box. Yeah. He's done everything right coming in.
Yeah.
He's your horse to beat in the Canadian Derby, the 91st running of it. Goes to post. First post, 5:15 tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Alberta Bred Quarter Horse Derby starts it off.
That's kind of cool.
10-horse field. They're going to go fast. It's a big day for them as well. I think in a pretty competitive field. So at least something to look forward to start it off.
There's lots of competitive fields.
It's a competitive card.
Those multi-leg wagers are tough. Those high fives are going to be tough. We might see some carryover action, and wouldn't that be something?
That would be lots of fun if we could get... What if we got 2 of them back to back?
Oh. That'd be crazy.
We'd be getting in hand over fist.
That'd be crazy good. I mean, I'm really looking for. We put up some big numbers all summer long, Rob. Our record handle of 1.36 million back in early September.
Fall Classic.
We're going to give that a run tomorrow evening. We'd like to match it, and you know what? I wouldn't rule out an all-time record handle for Alberta. You got to go back 40 years ago to find a $1.6 million wager on the Derby Day of 1980.
I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to think about it. I've been gearing up for this for a few weeks now and seeing what's going to happen. And
I get excited talking about handles. I love the term driving the handle. And, I not only call horse races, I not only promote on social media, but driving the handle is one of the things I love to do. And to be involved with a track like this, putting up the numbers we've done, it's been such a pleasure to be here with you all.
No, it's been a pleasure having you, and one more big day to cap it all off, and then back out east. And I'm really jealous you get to miss the worst of it, the Alberta winter.
You know what? I went to London 7 years ago, and I complained about the cold there, and everybody in London would say, well, you're coming from Alberta, it's cold out there. I said, it's not the same kind of cold. It's a dry cold. You know what? London, Ontario is colder than any spot in Alberta. I never really minded the winters out here, and the summers too. And you know what? I couldn't get into Prince Edward Island this summer, so that had me looking for another spot to go, and to be able to do some work out here and team up with you. This was my next best choice. If I couldn't be holidaying in PEI, then I wanted to be in Alberta. The dry air, it suits me well.
Well, we've appreciated having you, and we've had a blast. And we've had a blast this morning talking about some of the stars of Alberta racing.
Yeah,
and
you bet.
Looking forward to a huge day tomorrow. That just about ends us here. 5:15, first post tomorrow. 12 races on tap. 3 pick 4s. The pick 5. The Canadian Derby goes as race 10. 4 stakes worth more than $75,000. Divisional honors in each and every one of those up for grabs. What more could you ask for? So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being with us, Sugar, and all of you that joined us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, 5:15. Best of luck. Enjoy your Saturday. But make sure you're back here for Sunday racing here at Century Mile for the 91st Canadian Derby.
Canadian Derby is the race.
It's our biggest race. It's pinnacle racing here in Alberta.
To this day, and it still brings me to tears, actually.
It's just getting there and hoping nothing happens on the way.
Mashed with cheese, it means little bear. Driving back and forth, when we raced in Calgary all the time, I read all the road signs and all that. And so I always thought, that'd be a good name for a horse. Bear is his groom and Bear is a horse. And Bear, he really loves this horse.
He's just got the temperament of a champion.
Red bought him at the yearling sale. I wasn't there, and our friend Leanne Knechtel, and she said, there's one that I really, really like.
I went and looked at him in the sale, and I liked him, but he had a bad cut on his leg.
Well, I knew the scar on his leg didn't bother him, so Red, I said, buy this colt.
So I took a shot, I bought it, it never bothered him. As soon as we started to train him, and he was perfectly willing to do everything right.
He said, this horse is a little better than average.
He's just a smooth rider. Just don't seem to get sour, just a happy horse.
He's just one of those horses. They're special horses. When Fancy As won the Derby, I think it was almost as exciting as when I gave birth to my first child. At this point in Red's career, for him to win it, I think it would just be awesome because he's 82 years old this year.
You get pumped up. Not as much as I used to. Now I just kind of take it in stride. That horse Elijah's got, he can run. I think he's for real.
Looks like Rail Hugger at the wire.
This horse, I think, is going to be a shot. Pretty hard to find a horse that will go the Derby distance, but he wants to run further.
Bareback Jack is probably a little underrated. I'm still waiting for him to, throw that big one like he did in the Birdcatcher last year.
But it'll be Bareback Jack to win it in the Birdcatcher Stakes.
I've never taken a horse over for the Canadian Derby. Never led one over.
I'm already excited. I'm already sick to my stomach. It would mean everything to me.
It's the year of the mask. Mask with cheese.
They're on.